Hi gang. So, I have put off doing this. I've started it a couple of times, but finally, some of these women on the TV have made it so that I can't put this off anymore because my brain is about to pop. So, I want to just be very clear. 100%. Repeat after me. Rape, assault, molestation, attempted rape, attempted assault, attempted molestation is not normal, nor not has it ever been. These women on TV saying, repeatedly defending this man and saying, what man hasn't tried this when he was a teenager? Well, let me tell you, most of them, almost all of them, never try it. Never, 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 ever. These women that were just on CNN earlier today, I'm telling you, I don't know what planet they're from. Well, they're from Florida, so yeah, why not? If you're on this page, generally you probably know my story by this point if you've been part of the Friends Together family on any level. So what I want to say is that the kind of rape I experienced, the assault I have experienced, is not the norm, okay? The violent nature, everything else that happened to me 34 years ago is not what most people experience in a sexual assault or a situation like occurred with this Kavanaugh character. So in some ways, I think what happened to me is probably easier to live with than what has happened to many of my students, a huge number actually of students over the last 30 years that I've worked with. When trust is violated by someone you know, you're friends with, your family with, you've gone to school with for 15 years, whatever it is, when that trust is violated, that is a whole different level of how do you ever trust anybody again? So when an assault or an attempted assault, these women on TV, they were like, well, no penetration. I can't even begin to understand how any woman goes on TV and defends, not even defends Kavanaugh, defends the actions that they are assuming happened by saying, what guy hasn't tried that? What man hasn't done that? I am so upset at the fact that these women probably have children. Their daughters, what does that tell their daughters? What does it tell their sons? Even maybe more importantly, oh, it's okay if you do this as long as you're under 21. Is that going to be the cutoff age? Or is 25 because, men's brains aren't fully developed? What, in their mind, what is the cutoff age that it's okay that if he just did it, well, we'll forgive him? No, never, ever is it normal. And yes, there are several things I want to address with this before my head explodes. I do want to say this. Sexual assault goes both ways. A female can be a perpetrator. Not denying that in any way. I've worked with kids that have been molested by women. It's a small number, comparatively speaking, to what happens, in the big picture of numbers, but nonetheless important. None. And if someone is forgiving of this behavior, maybe they were a victim themselves and they, don't want to acknowledge that, or can't acknowledge it, or can't deal with it, or don't want to put themselves in that group of women that were vulnerable, whatever that is, whatever it is. CNN, don't put these women back on TV again. Just don't. Don't feed into that message that it's okay, that there's somehow somebody gets a pass. I posted something earlier on my page, and it was referring to male children who have been sexually assaulted by religious leaders. We'll just put it that, leave it that way. There has been such an outrage in our country, finally, and should be an outrage to this. Finally, people are outraged and are screaming from the rafters about the Catholic Church in Pennsylvania and some of the stuff that's gone on in some of the other denominations across the board, and are outraged and are calling for justice and calling for investigations. It happened in the same time period. Exactly the same time period. So it happened to these guys, and it's like, oh my God, this is horrible, horrible. It happened to women, and it's like, really? Not so much. Assault is assault. Rape is rape. Molestation is molestation. There is no cutoff age. There is no beginning age. There is no, oh, only if, when. No. And guess what? It is disqualifying. People keep saying, well, if it happened when you was a kid, do we hold you accountable? Yes, we hold you accountable. Yes. 17 years old, you pretty well know what you're doing is wrong. There's an accountability piece there. It's not okay. Does it have to keep you from doing anything at all for the rest of your life? Not saying that. But as far as sitting on the highest court in the land, or as far as being a judge over women and their bodies, or anything else, oh yes, it matters. It absolutely matters. I really am I can't even put into words if you did not watch the CNN clip earlier, you need to go find it and watch it. I shared it on my personal page. You can go there and watch these women. It's never okay. There's not one moment in time that is okay. And if you're watching this and you've been assaulted, you've had something bad happen in your life, and you've never told anybody, that's okay. It's okay. It doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It doesn't mean that it's any less important, and it doesn't mean that you haven't been any less hurt by it. It means that you didn't have somebody at that moment that you could trust enough to go to get the help that you may have needed. But there is always help. There is always somebody willing to help you walk through the process. Really what made me do this right now is I have 4 inbox messages in the last 2 hours from young women that I've worked with in college settings that have been assaulted, all by people they knew, and what this is bringing up for them now, and what those feelings are like for them now. And so I want you to know, if you're watching this and you feel abandoned, or you feel hurt, or you feel like you're less than, you are not. And there is, no matter where you are in this country particularly, but anywhere in the world, there is somebody who can help you get through and help you deal and help you be able to move on with the rest of your life so you don't stay stuck there. The problem when something like this hits the news is it does get a lot of attention. And for people who have not necessarily worked all the way through everything they've worked through, it is literally PTSD. It brings it right back to you. And for me, I mean, I'm somebody who's worked through it, talks about it every day, puts it out there. But I can tell you, when something like this happens and I get so upset and people go, oh, but what happened to you, that was rape. What happened to her, she got herself in that situation. Somebody may have to bail me out before the end of this thing is over, because I'm telling you, no, it's not different. It's not different. And like I said in the beginning, in some regards, what happened to me is easier to get over. It wasn't somebody I knew, none of the 3. It wasn't somebody I trusted. It wasn't somebody that was connected in my life in any way. It was complete stranger, don't know, never going to see that family at a family reunion, never going to see, do I want to go to my class reunion from high school because I may run into this person, never going to be where when I see my college team up on the billboard that I go, oh, none of that. So, it's a difference. Yes, I got long-term physical stuff to have to deal with forever, but the emotional piece is so much more painful for lots of people. And so I just want to say, please stand up for this. Please put on your Facebook that no, it's not normal. The idea that so many people are in the frame of mind that, you know, if there's not penetration, or if there's not this, or if there's not that, then it's okay. It's boys being boys. No, no. And if you taught your boys that it's okay, then you better get on the phone right now. You know, those women, they're all my age that were on the TV. And I'm just thinking, what do your kids think? What do your kids think? One of them was a teacher. What do your kids think? What are you telling your kids in school right now? Right this minute, you're a teacher. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, before the weekend's over, I'll make sure that we get up, you know, our resources. They're on our page. If you ever need them, you can go through our files and stuff. They're there, or go to the Straight Talk page. But we'll make sure that we have a square made. I'll get Ashley to help me, and we'll put the resources back up. But if you're seeing this and you are somehow, it's just out in the internet and you're seeing this, there is help in every single community. You can look up Rape Crisis Line, Google it for your area. There is domestic violence help, shelters, those kinds of things. If you're on a college campus, there's help on college campuses. Sometimes you have to look for it. I'm not saying that sometimes there's a big sign up, but the help is there, and you deserve to be heard. You deserve to be validated, and you deserve to be able to move forward. You don't have to stay stuck in the awfulness of the emotional trauma that's there. You don't have to. There's life after this. But these men and women who are perpetrators have to be held accountable. I don't care if statutes of limitations are ran out and all that other crap. It's not about the court. It's about the court of public opinion. And it's about what we allow in a civilized society to happen. And it's about how do we protect our children and their children. And this is where the rubber meets the road. And that's where we are right now. So I know some of you have written questions, but I can't see them because I'm doing this on my iPad. So I will go back, and if you wrote questions, I will make sure I answer them. But please know, there's help, there's resources, and you are not less than, no matter what somebody may say on TV. I love you all.